The stage is set and Halloween Horror Nights is just around the corner. We have so much to tackle in this update. Without further ado, our final construction update before Halloween Horror Nights 33 starts. And right at the front of the park, it is what we expect from last year. There's not much props. It's the same setup, same Halloween Horror Nights. Logo arch is back. No sign of Otis. Where's Otis? I need to see Otis. I'm sure we'll have our two iconic characters standing above here greeting us, and I'm sure there will be fog and lights, pretty much a repeat of last year. And you're gonna notice that's kind of a running theme this year, is a repeat of last year. And let me know down in the comment section if you do love that Halloween Horror Nights sign, and do you feel like that's going to be a staple and we're going to see that in the front of the park every single year now? Like, it just feels like a thing they can't get rid of at this point. But there's not much else going on in this zone. We don't have that Oddfellow stage. Maybe we'll get some more like rollout set pieces or something else. I would hope at this point, because it's kind of bare bones for a zone. And Insidious has its own food booth. I'm very curious, the food options. If you were to invent something with Insidious food-wise, what would you think it's going to be? Me, I'm thinking it's going to be something red related. Maybe like a red burger, or like a Insidious, like I think of like a spicy, maybe some kind of, I don't know, like a red spicy burger, maybe like a red dessert type of thing. And over in New York, we finally have most of the stages set, the actual stage. Much like what we had last year in that very New York bus area, we have now the Tortured Faire stage where our king and queen, lots of details on the stage. I'm kind of in the middle. Yes, I think it looks a little bit cheap, but I guess it fits the theming of this. And we do have one of our iconic characters in the background. I do love that design of her. She looks really, really creepy. On the stage, obviously, we're going to have a king and a queen. I'm not sure if they're going to come out and do a type of show. Are they going to be walking around? It'll be interesting also, I think, to see the theming of this zone. Is it going to be more serious, or because it's a Renaissance fair, it's going to be more jokey, like a vamp type of theme going here? I feel like it's going to be played up on the jokey side, and I'm more like, I want Horror Nights to be more like serious and more scary. The joke stuff is cool once in a while. I'll be interested to see how this stage is going to be used. Are we going to bow down to the king and queen? Are we going to see our iconic character come out on stage or not? And of course, we will see more rollout set pieces throughout New York. There's not much else that's out in New York. I mean, the stage is kind of the main thing. And then there's like one other little like tent piece that's covered up that you won't be able to see until Halloween Horror Nights. But stay tuned, because later on in the video, we did get a taste of some of the lighting package in this zone. There was a little teaser of a light. So along with the stage on the other side, which are some barricades, I'm not sure how they're going to use that. Maybe they're just going to bring them out and put those along on the side of the stage. These cool looking barricades, they have different logos on them, and there's actually like a really cool Easter egg in there on one of the symbols, and I'll see if you guys notice it. I'm not going to give you the answer of it, but I'll see if you notice it. But these look bright, they look beautiful. I believe they had barricades last year as well with Vamp. So again, that theme of something kind of being repeated from last year, kind of again. Here we are in New York. Here's a stage just like we had last year. Last year was a comedy kind of zone with Vamp. 69. Could this Renaissance Fair be another comedy-esque zone? Maybe. And here we have a look at our second food booth, the Twilight Tavern. I initially thought this was going to be dedicated to the Goblin Feast, but doing a little more research and some inside information, I believe this is now dedicated to the classic Monster House that we are getting for this year. Not quite sure what that means food wise. Tavern, I think of more like a beer or maybe some type of sandwich or something, maybe like a pot roast or some type of thing like that. So it'll be interesting to see what they have in this one. Yeah, but I think the food booth itself looks beautiful. I'm sure at night when it's going to be lit up, it will look even better. It looks really cool during the daylight. So I'll be interested to see what they have over in this one. And located right next to this one, we have a more colorful playfulness booth, which is, I guess, more of a play on Twisted Taters or something to that degree. And the name for this one is Twisted Tater Tots Live, which obviously Twisted Tater, but the Tots Live is kind of crossed out. I'm guessing we're going to get the Twisted Taters here, you know, those famous Twisted Taters. And by the way, are you a pizza fry person or a Twisted Tater person? Drop it down in the comment below. As well as we got to see this lit up at night. It looked really cool, like the glowing eyes on the little doggy door was cool. The lighting package is really good on this one. I really enjoyed it. But other than that, yeah, Twisted Tater Tots Live. Very colorfulness. I'm not sure what this is, like, what house this is dedicated to. Maybe triplets? Maybe? I think that's the only one I can maybe come up with, but yeah. And just around the corner from these two food booths are two more food booths are dedicated to Ghostbusters. We have the Frozen food booth, which I'm not sure what they would serve there, but I imagine it's going to be something Frozen related. Maybe a frozen drink, maybe a frozen dessert. That would make sense, like two food booths, one doing kind of the sweeter stuff, one doing more of the savorier stuff. I do love the design of this. It looks really cool, looks like it is just a building that is frozen in time. And then right next to that, we have the deli. So I'm curious what are they going to serve on this one. Maybe some beer, maybe some type of cool snacks or some type of sandwich, I would imagine. And over in the Mummy gift shop, they have been teasing here and there little hints and teases about the tribute store, about some artifacts that are coming and different set pieces that are little clues. I'm very curious of how this tribute store is going to work between what they're showing in the Mummy store and what they are advertising as the put yourself in the tribute store stuff. I don't understand the theming here. Maybe it'll make sense when we see the tribute store, but between this stuff and then, like I said, the custom stuff that you'll see a little later on in the video, I'm not understanding, because this stuff's kind of gives me like this idea of like a artifact or museum or something like that, but then the other stuff is more like a convenience store. So I'm confused of how those two are going to mash up. And every single year I say I'm going to do it. I'm going to put myself in a tribute store, and this year's options are not anything I'm interested in. None of these look good. I don't want to see myself on Earl the Squirrel coffee bean or lima beans. But if you guys want, maybe I'll find a way. Maybe if this video gets 200 likes, maybe I will do it. And right outside of Fast and Furious, everyone has seen the smoke-top candy towers. Now we know the entrance is going to be to the right. Now, this house is going to be really interesting. I'm hearing some not so good things about this, so it will be interesting of how this house is going to work. But speaking along with major sweets, in the San Francisco candy factory right near almost this house and right before Blumhouse, it is actually getting a major sweets kind of overlay. They have all this pinstripe design, they got stuff on the walls, and the biggest kind of nod to Major Sweets, but Major Sweets Candy Co. is right on the door. Now, I'm not sure what they're going to have inside, just snacks or this is it, but it's interesting nonetheless. Now, as soon as you exit the candy shop, you are ushered into Blumhouse, the scare zone that is been announced. I think this is the final stage of it at this point. There's not much more they're going to be adding. I wish there was a little more little Easter eggs and nods other than the phone and the mascot and the flower, but they have little details like this. So we do now know people are going to be on the stage. Who's going to be on the stage? I'm not sure, but definitely don't stand there because they're going to tell you to constantly be moving away from the stages. And we have a look at the projectors, which we now know, I guess, what they're going to be projecting on. At least the two on the sides we know are going to be facing towards the buildings, I guess projecting just different images and Blumhouse logo, I assume. They are kind of weirdly placed. Like the other one is just aimed towards that back of the wall, I guess, and you can't really see what Blumhouse is going to be showing us behind the projector. So in the other one, I'm not even sure. It's just aimed towards the zone, but I don't see how you're going to be able to see any part of what it's showing because there's nothing up. You got me on this one. I'm very clueless of how it's going to be showing, what it's going to be showing, but we'll have to see once the zone is done. I figure it's just going to be lots of fog, lots of characters, lots of traffic. Because if you don't know, this is where Major Sweets Candy Factory actually exits out of, and you have the crowd moving from Diagon Alleyway, and then you have the other crowd that is moving from the New York way. So a little bit of a cluster, a little bit. And right outside of the Blumhouse zone, I still have no clue what this is supposed to be. Maybe a meet and greet station, maybe, I don't know, it's like a smaller stage with speakers. So I'm not sure, maybe this is supposed to be Chucky's area if he is rumored to be at the event. I mean, we'll have to see if they're going to build out this area any more. But also along on the side of Lombard's is the Peacock Bar is coming back. Now, I'm not sure if it's going to be called that or something else, or it's just a random bar area, but it is back on the other side of Lombard's. We have a bar area, as well as over in right next to Transformers, there's another bar area. So two main bar areas. Not quite sure if they're going to have meet and greets. Maybe that didn't work out so well last year. We'll have to see if those come back and who will be the surprise guests for this year. And switching gears, we headed over to the Universal Hotels just to see if there was any progress being made. Sadly, we can see right here there's nothing going on at Cabana Bay. They actually have some kind of conference thing that's going on there right now, so nothing is being done Halloween Horror Nights related there. And over in Sapphire Falls, nothing has been put up as far as the theming. Nothing has been added. Not quite sure if this is going to be a last minute thing that they do like right before Horror Night starts. I'll be curious because I will definitely be checking out most of the hotels opening weekend to see just what I can see. And over in Aventura, nothing has been started with the Alien Bar concept. Like I said, I imagine closer to the event, maybe a few days before they're going to start work on this. And over in the Hub Bridge area between Diagon Alley and Simpsons, we have another food booth, which is themed to Goblin Feast. Now, I'm not sure what type of food you're going to eat. Hopefully it's going to be tasty and not gross, but it does look really, really cool. I'll give them credit on that. And over in front of Animal Actors, we actually are going to be going to the lobby in the movies at the Cary Drive-In Theater. Now, what type of snacks would we get here? I'm thinking drive-in related snacks, popcorn, hot dogs, your typical movie snacks. What would you think they're going to do? Like a play on that type of stuff, like a Twisted Slaughter Cinema type of stuff? I'll be curious to see. Now, over in the Swamp of the Undead, they have added some alligators. Now, between the 2 days I was there filming, they did adjust the gator. This gator was actually towards the front more, and then they moved him a little bit further back. So that's kind of interesting. But lots of details since the last time I've been here. They've added so much stuff to this Swamp of the Undead is just like where they actually spend the budget on theming. I wish the other zones would have this much theming, but it's a lot of rollout pieces because of that darn parade. Otherwise, this zone looks fantastic. The only thing that is normally a problem with the zone is the traffic and so many people walking through that the actors can't really move about in a cool way. So I love that they added the little animals, Team Turtle or Team Owl. Yeah, that's going to be a community poll right there. So I look forward to seeing what team you're going to be on. And then we have this big, gigantic boat, which is going to be cool. I'm sure there's going to be a victim in the back all twisted onto the fan. That's going to be cool. If it's going to be blowing, I imagine maybe blowing out some fog or something. But lots of little details in here. We got to come up with some names for the turtle and the owl. So leave it down in the comment section as well. What is your name for the owl and the turtle? As well as I'm curious the lighting package and the type of music they're going to play in this zone. I imagine it's going to be like a New Orleans, maybe a slow type of music, maybe a lot of swamp noises. I don't know if a swamp makes noise, and because I love Little Boo, it's time to talk about Little Boo. So while I was there, please don't buy me one. If you buy one, I'm going to have to wear it, and I don't want to have to wear it. Please don't buy me one. Shoulder magnet little puppet buddies are sold out. And they also released some coasters along with that punk rock theme. These look really cool. But yeah, that's kind of the new merch. And then now we head on over to the boutique. Hallows Eve is now have its Halloween set theme. Really creepy, really cool. Definitely check it out. Lots of props and lots of nods to previous houses and zones. Really, really cool. I always have a good time just kind of standing in there and taking in the ambiance of Halloween Horror Nights. And just to close out the video, this was the scene over in New York. We got a look at the lighting package for Tortured Faire. Kind of interesting, kind of cool. That is it for the final construction. I will see you all in the fog.